And we must fear God when we are working for the people of Machakos. There is always tomorrow. I would never wish to come back to Machakos County Assembly when the ground, when my people have not been served, when we have no developments on that ground. So the executive, most of the governor himself, we wish him well in his endeavor to search for votes all over the country. But it's important that remembers that there are people who elected him. We have budgets that we have passed in this county assembly, and these budgets, my wish, and I hope it's a wish of most of the members, is that we need those budgets to be executed just the way we passed them. Because every budget is attached, is spent on a given project, which we wish to see that project on the ground. So, Mr. Speaker, as we support the report from the Department of Youth, led by the Chair, Honorable Betty, it's a pity that most of the projects that have been done are is just money that has been misused, if I may say so, Mr. Chairman. Otherwise, I wish that all our budgets are implemented the way we pass them, so that we see a better county. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Irene Bivia, 1 minute. Honorable Kingori, and I mean 1 minute because I'll cut you off because I don't have time now. Please, let's have 1 minute, and Honorable Benedetto Mweni on the outside, 1 minute. Okay, Honorable Irene Bivia.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I congratulate the chairperson, Honorable Betty, for the good report. And I believe the core purpose of devolution is for the counties to generate their own income. So with the amenities that we have within this county, and it's very rich, we must be able to generate our own income. And secondly, about vandalism. It's a sorry state that we can have such a facility, very expensive and a good facility, but there is no security. So the county government should come up with measures to ensure that the security is within that, within the Machakos People's Park. Very soon we shall have the county buildings coming up because their construction's ongoing. So without the security, how will it function? So that must be put in place. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, I have a concern concerning internet. We are not able to access documents. So I would wish to ask if we can be sorted. If the passwords have been changed, we should be notified because we are not able to follow up on the proceedings. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Kingori.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm Honorable George Kingori from Mudhwani Ward. I just want to touch on how we are spending money which is not budgeted for. That's an illegal affair. Like what we have gotten in the report, it means that the department itself have used money which was not budgeted for, because what we are told by the executive last time, we are told all the monies they used it to pay pending bills. I think it's quite in order for this house to worry more on how those money was spent. Even now, to see that even those pending bills, if you can have projects which are not being which are being done without any budget, it means even the pending bills have so many questions to be asked for. So I think it's the high time we tell our people what is right, because I think we are very good for the governor because of the handshake. At the high time we tell the public what the governor is doing with his money. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Kingori. Honorable Mweni.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm Bendeta Mweni Musyoka, nominated by Wiper, and the vice in committee. Mine is to say that if all these members who are here, you can be clever enough, you will know that that money is put there to be taken to the other side. So you have one day, Mr. Speaker, instead of talking when we are here, we go to people's park so that you can be talking something that you have seen. You will not be talking the way you are talking now. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. May I call the mover of the motion to respond, please? Honorable Betty.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First and foremost, I want to thank this Honorable House for the sign of a commitment to this report. Honorable Speaker, personally, I made a site visit with my committee at the People's Park. And honestly, what I saw there, even before God, it is too unfair. Because when we went there, the studio is outside the People's Park. It is somewhere far from, let's say around 5 kilometers from, 5 or 3 kilometers from the People's Park to the place. When we went there, we found the gates were vandalized. When we got to the same building, everything was stolen. And our question was, because the chief officer came there, who are doing this kind of a job? The response that he gave to us is that the inspectorate were the people who were taking care of that building, or else they were the ones who were guarding the People's Park. And they came to realize that they're the same people who are trying to steal from the studio. But I want to tell you, the way my vice chair is saying, Mr. Speaker, if you could visit that place, I want to tell you that is a good, that is the inside job. Because you can remove, how can you remove almost a full grill? And then you say that they were all stolen. Gypsum was removed. Everything in that building studio, I can say it was removed, or else they were claiming that it was stolen, totaling amount of 11 million. And nothing, I want to say again, nothing is now left there. And the chief officer was claiming that they've started again to redo the studio. The other thing, Honorable Speaker, that I observed there in the People's Park, we normally get, let's say, some good monies. Because our choirs from our churches, from our local churches, they go and shoot there. I had a choir that paid a day for shooting 10,000 a day. And you find that, there are many meetings that are being held there. Does it mean that they are being held there for free? That is another question that we are supposed to ask. So I want to request this Honorable House, Honorable members, just I want to remind you that we have a role and a responsibility for us to serve the people of Machakos County. As far as things have gone, our electorates, they don't know our role as MCAs and the role of the executive. They are expecting us to do the role of implementation on the ground, because they don't know whether the governor is the one who has the responsibility or else the role to do the implementation. And there are some things which are happening within our county and within our departments, and I want to repeat again, before God, it is too unfair. So let us take up our task, let us play our role, and then, Honorable Speaker, I normally say that where we cannot make it, and if we know we are doing the right thing to our people, because we took our oath in office, then the rest God shall do it for us. So thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Betty Nzisa, for that report. I now put the question that this Honorable House discusses and approves the Tourism, Youth, Sports and Culture Departmental Report for the financial year 2019-2020. As many as other opinion say ayes. Aye. On the extended chamber, as many as other opinions say ayes. As many as of the contrary opinion say nay, the ayes have it. Honorable members, I'm going to just give one comment before we finalize. And the first one, honorable members, is that our duty as honorable members of this House have heard much of what has been spoken here, which is all very right and true. Our duty is of representation, first and foremost of representation, and oversight. And these are two very key roles which, as honorable members, we need to ensure we do them. I have seen honorable members agitating for meetings, agitating for other forms of meetings, internal meetings. There are two kinds of things. The things which are within your control, those things, you don't have to worry about them because they are within your control. The things which is a matter of timing, those things you don't have to worry about them. You know at the end of the day they'll be done because they are within your control. The things within the County Assembly of Machakos, those things are within your control, and those things sooner than later will happen. That one should not be your worry. What I would like to see meetings being held for is for representation and oversight. We need to have meetings for people to say we have an appropriation bill in place. We have an appropriation bill of 11 billion shillings in place. What has that appropriation bill done up to now? Those are the kind of meetings, honorable members, as honorable members of this House, we need to be looking at. An appropriation act is in place. You do not need to pass any other act whatsoever. You already have an appropriations act in place. The vote aids have money, all of them. What has happened to the Appropriation Act before you start talking about a supplementary appropriation bill? What has happened to the Appropriation Act? If nothing has happened to the Appropriation Act, what makes you think that something will happen to the Supplementary Appropriation Act? Remember, supplementary only adds or appropriates additional funds which have come after the appropriation bill. Are we only interested in looking at the appropriation money, the additional money which has come after the Appropriation Act, or are we interested in looking at the full bill, the full act as we passed it of 11 billion? So honorable members, I've heard honorable members here talk about the roles, talk about people on the ground and what they'll say. People on the ground, yes, they don't know the separation of powers, but they know one thing for sure. They know you are the one who approves the budget. So wherever you hide, they still come back and tell you you are the one who approved the funds and gave them to spend. Had you not approved those funds, had you demanded for action to be taken on the available bill, available act. Right now, for example, we have an appropriation act in place. You need to see what has been done with that act before you start looking to supplementing it. Those are the key things which we need to be discussing and talking about. The youth. This committee and that department, honorable members have spoken here very well. We have not seen any money for supporting youth tournaments in the wards, for purchasing small things like uniforms and shoes, playing shoes for our youth. We have not seen money being put aside for leveling of fields where our children play at. But we are seeing 60, 70, 80, 100 million shillings being put in putting huge stadia in specific areas, while you can spend a quarter of that money and level every ward a field which can be utilized in that ward for students or for our youth to play and explore their talent in. So, women groups, this is culture. Women groups are women groups for their youth. There is nothing which is happening on the ground. But we are appropriating a lot of money for renovations. So, that needs to be looked at, honorable members, keenly. And lastly, on the issue of the internet in this house, I would like to request the Secretariat, Mutisia, find out what is happening with the internet. As you all know, we have gone paperless. And since you have gone paperless, no reports are printed. And therefore, if the Wi-Fi inside here or the connectivity inside here is not working, then we are saying that you are going to have honorable members who cannot be able to effectively participate in debates because they cannot access their reports. Have it checked so it can be it can be repaired to ensure that honorable members participate effectively in this debate. Without honorable members, the House is adjourned to resume again on Tuesday, the 13th day of October, 2020 at 2:30 p.m. Have a good lunch.